Hey, 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 family. It's me, Queenie Brown. Thank you so much for joining me for today's reading of the Self Love Lessons. We are in Self Love Lesson number 2, how to know what you need so that you can ensure that you get it. And I'm super excited about today's reading. It's going to be a vulnerable share today. Not really excited about it, honestly. I'm more anxious about it because I get to share this with the world. So, there was a time when I was afraid to take a bath, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But as you're coming in, please do make sure you say hashtag or in the comments, hashtag present so that I know that you're here. If you follow all the way through the end, make sure you put hashtag finish. And if you're watching us on the replay, thank you for joining us and put hashtag replay so that I'll know that you're here. This has been quite a journey, and most of you know already that in December, God invited me to go back and revisit these self love lessons, which is a book that I wrote back and published in 2011 to chronicle my journey through my healing of my body. My just a lot of stuff was going wrong, and God walked me through it with the instructions that He put in this book. And so I'm going through a new transition in my life, and God told me to revisit the lessons in December. So we've been reading them every day online for up to 15 minutes. And I've been sharing my journey with you all, and I'm super excited to go a little bit deeper. We're actually getting into the real meat of the book now, so I'm super. Anyway, here we go. So today we are on page 186. I'll read along with me. And here we go. The principle of bathing, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Ephesians 5:26. When is a woman completely and totally alone? Where she creates the environment for her benefit alone, where she fully controls the atmosphere and she and no one else is the 100% beneficiary of the complete experience. When that woman is taking a bath, she sets the temperature of the water. She decides on the fragrance. She's in charge of the atmosphere. She chooses the music, the candles, or none of the above. I remember a television commercial back in the 80s that showed a woman totally submerged in chaos. She yells, "The traffic, the boss, the baby, the dog, that does it. Calgon, take me away." Y'all remember? Then she escapes into a luxurious bath where all of her stress disappears. Well, it's not quite as simple as taking a bath to release you from your stress. This is just the beginning. There's a process to that stress release, and there's also a preparation that is involved. But if you follow the instructions that I'm going to share with you and fully embrace the self love process, you will find the strength in any trials in your life. Why bathe? Bathing, not showering, but bathing has many benefits. Number one, bathing forces you to slow down. You simply cannot rush a bath. It takes time to draw the water. It takes time to adjust your body to the water temperature. It takes time to soak, time to wash, time to clean up. Perhaps that's why so many of us have opted out of the bathing experience altogether. Well, I'm now learning how opting out has cost me. When I don't take my time, I don't pay attention to the details. Yes, I may get clean, but I neglect the care that various parts of my body needs. Additionally, when I don't take the time to sit in the tub, I neglect a weekly opportunity for my mind to check out, renew, and refresh. I truly do need to make time in my life to take better care of me. That's the truth. And so do you, right? Number two, why bathe? Giving yourself room to breathe. That'll preach. Number three, why bathe? Because you get to steal away for sacred solitude. Number four, you get to shut out and turn off the world. And number five, you get to release your mind to relax. These are all good reasons to make time to take a bath. However, a better reason is to reconnect, resuscitate, replenish, revive, renew, reveal, receive, recalibrate, recharge, and any other word that you can think about. I think of a bath as a far more spiritual experience than I ever have before. It's a time when I can tune out the noise of my life, stand completely naked before God and God alone, and softly hear from my God. Yes, I talk to God, and yes, God talks to me. He speaks to you too, but you may not have made the connection that that voice is actually the voice or the whisper of God. The sooner you acknowledge that you are hearing from God, the sooner you will trust and then act on what He tells you to do. One thing that God specifically said to me was to instruct you to create a multi-sensory bathing experience by following the guidelines that we set forth in this book. You are to show up expecting to receive a word, a message, a revelation, an understanding, an answer, an idea, or a witty invention. Show up to your bathing experience expecting to receive, expecting to hear from God, and He will meet you there. I was afraid to take a bath. There was a time in my life when I was afraid to take a bath. No, this wasn't during my youth. It was actually around 2003 to 2004. Does that sound crazy? Well, I have to admit this because I'm sure that I'm not the only one who has felt this fear. As a child, of course, I took baths and really enjoyed it. There were even times in my adulthood when I would treat myself to a bath, but it was never a routine thing. I did have a habit of showering after my bath because I felt a little gross after washing all the dirt of the day and then sitting there in it. But it had been years since I had taken a bath, and there just was something about taking a bath that did not appeal to me at all. I remember that I didn't like taking a bath or that I didn't have time to sit. I remember saying that I didn't like taking a bath or I didn't have time to sit in a bath. I would make excuses and say, who wants to sit in a tub full of dirty water? That's like swimming in my own dirty soup. I just prefer showers. Taking a bath just takes too long. Just don't want to be bothered. My list of excuses for not taking a bath was a mile long. But what I did have on the list was that I was just plain scared. What I didn't have on the list was that I was just plain scared to take a bath. Can you believe it? So my dear friend Debrina, author of Sacred Pampering Principles, adamantly suggested that I sit my butt down in the tub at least once every week. You got to be kidding me, I said. When I finally decided to try it, I found myself crying uncontrollably. As I went through the process of preparing for my bath, I remember feeling so uncomfortable. I began to dread the moment when I would sit in the tub and just be there, alone with my thoughts. And when I did, I was absolutely unable to control the tears. I'm not doing that again, I told myself. I was so afraid to face the emotions that would come up, afraid to unearth the feelings that I had buried so many years before, and afraid to accept the fact that just maybe I didn't have it as together as I thought. And I'm supposed to take another bath next week? Yeah, whatever. I don't think so, I thought. There would be too much silence, too much open space for my sadness to fill up. And I just didn't want to go there again. I just couldn't do it. I was also afraid of what would happen if I actually faced the sadness. I honestly was scared to allow myself to move through it. I worried, what if I get stuck in the midst of it and plunge even deeper into a depression than I already was? What if I really lose it? These thoughts haunted me every time I even thought about taking a bath. An unexpected proposal. I remember the day when God asked me to meet Him in the bath. It was a date of sorts. He told me to just trust Him. I reluctantly agreed and decided to force myself through the process. The tears flowed and I didn't try to stop them. I cried for what seemed like a lifetime, but after the tears, I felt such a sense of relief. I learned then that the fear of the tears kept me from getting to the other side. Relief. God asked me to meet Him again, and I did. This time, as the tears fell, I got angry about what I had endured. Out loud, I spoke how I felt about what my life had become. It was as though I was pleading my case before God, my case against everyone in my life who I felt hurt me. I even pled my case against me for letting me get to the place where I was. The bath became a place for me to truly release the stuff that I had been holding inside that had certainly become toxic. I think we all need to make time to give ourselves a little relief. There's so much that we're juggling day to day, and it's almost impossible to process it all without stopping the train and getting off every once in a while. Give yourself the gift of a bath. You'll be glad you did. Practicing extreme self care. When you find yourself depleted, overcome by the trials of life, you feel you need an escape, right? The escape plan is total and complete immersion into self care. I call it pressing the escape key. In order to prepare for your escape, extreme self care, you must begin by building your love chest. And tomorrow we will go into what your love chest is, how to build it, and what that looks like. I'm super glad you were able to join me on this. Oh, that was a little much for me to share with you. But thanks for listening and watching in. How do you feel about it? Have you ever felt like you were troubled with taking a bath or getting in the silence and having to actually face your emotions? If so, just put yes and put me in the comments. In the meantime, I am inviting you to this coming week. God instructed me to create an awesome opportunity to help you hear from God, and it's called Quiet My Mind. It's a free workshop. It begins this coming Thursday. And if you put invite me in the comments, you should get some information on it. I will give you a link as well to make sure that you can register. It's absolutely free. It's called Quiet My Mind. It's a 2-part experiential workshop where God has instructed me to teach you what he taught me that helped me be able to hear from him. And he ended up writing this entire book that we're reading right now through me. So God intends to get a message through to you, not through someone else, but actually give it directly to you. But you get to learn how to make the space and learn how to create the atmosphere for that. So thank you again for watching. I'm Queenie. I'll see you all tomorrow. God bless you and take good care.